are still here. You know, I can't help but notice you're staying late after class a lot lately. What is up with that? Are you having trouble at home? Or do you just use the classroom to do your homework? Is that not it? Well, I am out of ideas. So tell me, what kind of secret after-school meetings are you having in your room? You're not doing anything illegal, are you? Because if you were to admit that to a teacher, I'd have to call your parents. You must know this. I'm not sure how to interpret that silence, but you are smart to keep to yourself. As much as I want to motivate my students to speak, sometimes it's best to stay quiet. Sometimes it is best to stay quiet. Too many people don't know to appreciate silence and use it as a tool to get ahead in life. But you've always been a bit more unassuming. I can imagine some of the teachers don't even realize you're there most of the time. Of course, I notice you. And yes, I see you drawing, even though you try to hide it. But your scores are always pretty decent, and your essays are a lot more intricate than those of your peers, so it would be lying if I were to say you were a bad student. I would like to hear your voice in class more often. To be completely honest, seeing how silent you are and how you were always staying behind after class, I was quite worried you were living in a bad situation. But I'm legally not allowed to check your files or do anything, even if there was something going on. I really wish I could do more for my students than just talking to them and helping them with their work. But my hands are tied. Let me guess. You haven't even started yet, have you? Oh, trust me, that is not uncommon. Not too long ago, I was a student too. And I never even touched the research until the night before at about 9 p.m. But that just makes your work even more impressive. Such complex thoughts being curated within a few hours, and under that much pressure, it's quite an achievement. Most of the other students wouldn't be able to replicate your thoughts even if given a whole year to write. I'm not playing favorites. You're just a good student. But maybe don't tell the other faculty members I said any of this. I don't know how strict they are in the whole separation between teachers and students thing, and you get it. But how about I treat you to some hot chocolate from the teacher's lounge and you don't tell anybody about this? Just in case. I mean, obviously you don't have to. And I don't want to get fired in my first year as a teacher here because it looked like I was chatting up students. Look at it more as a friendly offer, in case you want to avoid going home just yet. At this time on a Friday, the teacher's lounge should be empty already. Most teachers leave with the bell and don't look back. Oh, how I'd like to be like them too. Too many papers to grade. One of the language professors actually forgot her bag a few weeks ago and didn't even bother going back to get it. You might have heard that story already. The students were quite upset when she didn't have their papers graded that next Monday like she promised. What do I think? I think she just used that weekend to catch up on sleep for once. I wish I could just do that sometime. But since I'm still the new girl, I'm worried they just kick me out. Some sleep would be really nice. But I'm getting off track again. So how about it? Some free hot cocoa? I think I could really use the company while I look through some tests before I leave. Might help me stay awake. Only if you don't have anything planned already, of course. Awesome. It's a deal then. Do you have all your things? D'accord. Good, I'll lock up the classroom. Doesn't look like anyone left anything this time. The teacher's room is right this way. I don't think they usually allow students in here, but that's another one of those old teachers and their disrespect for students things, in my opinion. That's actually one of the reasons I wanted to become a professor in the first place. Not so I could bully students, obviously, but rather because I was tired of the older generation of teachers. The more alternatives the school has, the less assholes they have to employ. Listen, I'm not dropping any names, but I have a feeling you might know what I'm talking about. Pardon. I always used to like the younger teachers when I was still a student. They always seemed so fascinated with their subject and were willing to explain it to you when you'd ask. I feel like a lot of the older professors forget the fact that their students are also just people, you know? But most of the newer teachers luckily don't have that mindset anymore. Most of them genuinely have a passion and want to teach, which I find to be quite inspiring. And even though my sleep problems and headaches haven't been getting better, constantly having to read the students' papers, it's still worth it in my opinion. If there's even a single student that smiles at me each day, the one student that genuinely looks as though they're interested in listening to what I'm saying, it's worth it to me. Seeing that spark in their eyes when it finally clicks and they understand what's going on. Or that look of victory when they give a good answer and I praise them. That's what gives me the energy to keep going. And even though I see you drawing quite often, I hope you still care about my class and what I'm saying. I try not to judge any of my students on their performance or attitude, since I don't know what's going on in their personal lives. Knowing I can still somehow help them get ahead in life, that's enough for me. It's a bit difficult to let go of that idea that everybody is constantly judging you, and that they're only distracted because you bore them, but most of the time, that's not the reason at all. If everyone were to stop paying attention, however, I might have to start reflecting a bit more. Self-reflecting. Well, this right here, after you, is the legendary Teacher's Lounge. It's kinda nice, isn't it? The couch here is one of my favorite features, even though it's probably older than the school itself. But having a trashy one is better than having none at all, I suppose. And it serves the purpose. Feel free to look around a little, or just sit on the couch. This probably feels a bit strange, no? I mean, usually this place is off limits, after all. But I promise you, it's fine. They don't have any security cameras or student detection devices here. You can consider yourself off the grid here. Just make yourself at home while I get you some hot chocolate. we go. Nice and fresh. This stuff is actually surprisingly good. For being instant, basically. It's a miracle I haven't spilled it on any papers yet, considering how often I drink it. Which would be almost every day. Sometimes twice even. I started out with the coffee, but at some point in the afternoon, a coffee isn't really the best choice anymore, you know? And that is why I eventually tried the other things the machine has to offer and got stuck on the hot chocolate. Oh, so good. It really is tasty. Go ahead. Try for yourself. Here, careful. It's a bit warm. I probably shouldn't have sat down on the couch. I've been so tired all day. And last night I didn't sleep at all. I told myself I wouldn't leave until I read through everyone's assignment, so I wouldn't have to stress myself about it anymore. But now... oh man. I am so sorry. But at least you got some hot chocolate out of it, right? Gosh, I am such an old lady, aren't I? Getting excited over hot chocolate and almost falling asleep the second I sit down on a soft surface. I suppose that is the price you ought to pay for becoming a teacher. Aging twice as fast as the rest of the population. But, you know, it is what it is. Okay, now I need to put this down before I spill it. Hey, I know this is probably completely inappropriate, but would it be okay if I rested my head on your lap for a moment? My head is kind of spinning right now, and I wouldn't want to make you get up just so I can lay down. You're sure? Thank you. I don't want to ask you to keep it a secret. If this makes you uncomfortable at all, please tell me. Feel free to report me to the other staff here. I never want to abuse your trust. Or can I just stay like this for a little? You're so